Just thought I'd come to you live because I am eating my lunch and it's not shocker. I'm not 100%. Just doing a little work here, but yeah, the food that I'm eating, I don't eat it regularly. I only eat it sometimes, and usually it's during that time of the month when you need an extra boost. And that food that I don't eat raw, usually around that time of the month, is now. If you don't know plantain, I have a couple of notes to share with you. Uh, if you don't know plantain, off the top of my head, I know that plantain has a lot of potassium. So that is something that's lacking for women, specifically around certain times of the month. You have blood loss. So, magnesium is another one, calcium is another one. So there's a lot of things that women may want to supplement with, specifically if your diet is not getting all those nutrients. But yeah, plantain is from my mother's side of the family that got me on it. She's West Indian, and I don't think I always liked plantain, which is weird, but once I learned how healthy it is for you, and I don't know, I just started liking it over time. I like the different foods and different things, and prepared differently, and with different, seed oils. And yeah, I started really liking it. Now again, I don't eat seed oils, and I'm not like suggesting that you eat seed oils all the time. As you can see, like I have a thing like a can of ketchup too, and I typically ketchup. So there's a few reasons why I eat plantain cooked, and it's not always um, obvious. Okay, but first things first, plantain is some people call it green banana, right? Depending on where you come from. It's extremely starchy if it's not ripened, right? Like if its skin is not brown or blackened, it's very, very starchy. And you can't eat that raw. But if it is pretty much black, maybe like a deep mustard yellow, you can eat it raw, right? You can just add it to salads, or you can just eat it by itself if you want to. Or you can add it to a cooked meal if that's what you're doing, lower percentage raw diet. But so yeah, it is a great filler, and it's a great transition food if you are used to eating fried foods and you love fried foods. Now that is what that is one of the main reasons why I eat plantain. And I also eat plantain because I have this flat cast iron skillet. And when I became 100% raw, or I would just say fully raw, uh, a year or two ago, I don't remember what it was now. Um, when I did that whole thing, I used to look at that pot and I like the pot so much, and I wondered, when am I ever going to use this pot? And the main reason why I like the pot is, first off, it's like the first kind of like adult specialized pot that I got. So I was like, feeling myself. It's something that you can't just put in the dishwasher. You have to oil it, season it, take care of it and stuff. So it was like a self-love purchase. But one of the key reasons why I wanted a cast iron pot, let's see if the ladies can guess. Iron, if you can believe it, yes. So I was told that the iron can go into your food. So what do you need when you have a period, or if you're dealing with PMS or something like that? More iron. And because I'm more into, I would say, more of a natural lifestyle, and I want to just get nutrients, through an easier means. And I want to be able to share that with a lot of different people, right? Because I can buy iron. I actually have that in my cupboard now. But at the time, I didn't like to constantly take supplements. Nor did I like to constantly promote excessive amount of taking supplements. So I had to figure it out. And I learned that cooking with cast iron can actually help you get iron. Right now, I'm not talking about the iron that comes from like eating red meat and everything like that. Don't think you need that. But that's another conversation. But on the plant-based route, I figured, okay, let me just use a cast iron every now and then. Again, that's not a consistent thing, so you won't see me using it all the time. But I do use it. Obviously, it's a one at a time that I use it most. So I just want to say a couple of notes that I made. Make sure I don't miss anything. Not just about planting, but also eating 100%. And it's not a sin to eat cooked, uncooked food, specifically with all the benefits that I would say, at least for myself, that plantain has to offer. But you see. Now, I just want to preface this with you can eat raw plantain. I'm sure I've spoken about this before in different videos, but you can make like a raw vegan bread with raw plantain, okay? And use that starchy texture to your benefit. Okay? Um, Also, you can eat ripe, or some people say overripe plantain, by itself, and it's a delicious component. You can also, well, you can make wraps as well with the sweet plantain as well. Also, again, it's called green banana, so you can dehydrate it when it's green, starchy, and you can blend it up and you can make your own type of banana green powder, like a starchy powder, resistant starch, if you've heard of that. And that's why I have those. So, let me see. Okay, so again, I already said they have potassium. So potassium is one of the highest potassium, plantains is one of the highest potassium things that you can put on your plate. Okay? And it is well above a serving of banana. So if you don't eat bananas, and some people don't, but there's smoothies, I can't relate, but if you don't eat bananas, you could try plantain, which is, a lot starchier, and it has a lot more potassium. So you don't have to eat it sweet. I'm not sure if that's, what deters some people from eating bananas, but I could assume it probably does. What else? Oh, wow, that's great. When you heat it, you do learn that, and that's why I promote mostly raw. But when you heat things, sometimes you can release more of the nutrients in the food, and sometimes it can actually reduce it, right? So you will get a little bit of reduction in the vitamin C and plantain, right? Let's full transparency. What else can you get? But you're getting it in your body, so that's great. Oh yeah, also the transition thing that I was talking about. I used to like eat like maybe a side of fries or something with ketchup as a transition um, from less than healthy foods to a more healthier diet for myself. And even those little bit of fries a month, for me, it costs too much. And I'm not talking about money. So I had to think of a way, how do I still allow something, the texture, somewhat the taste, ketchup, and that starchiness or oily fattiness of it. Now, none of these things at this day and age, I'm not addicted to any of these things. I do feel like I could eliminate this if I wanted to. I haven't right now, but I'm okay with it. Right? So part of this diet is not just the optimal health diet, to be clear, is not just attacking food and saying that this is evil or something like that, but also making sure that you have some type of mental balance and some type of physical balance with the things that you eat. You know, am I eating fried plantain every day? No, it doesn't. My body lets me know that's not the move. It doesn't want these type of seed oils in my body. And that's another thing. I also use extroversion or what's it called? Oh, cold pressed. Yes, cold pressed. Coconut oil. So unrefined coconut oil. I use that, and it tastes great. That's also another butter substitute that I learned. That I really like. That is a butter substitute. So that's a little hack, and it tastes amazing. Smells amazing, tastes amazing. But yeah, when you're doing a transition, of course you're gonna get trade-offs. It's just like if you've been addicted to hamburgers or whatever, or you always get a cheeseburger after work or whatever at McDonald's. Beyond Meat, one of the best and impossible. But full transparency, I'm not sure about the GMOs or not, but either way, great transition foods as far as the taste, the texture, the look, smell, which is all that this type of addictive eating is really usually, unless you're nutrient deficient in something and you eat a burger. I've heard of that, but yeah, possible. But yeah, you can easily move to, let's say, McDonald's cheeseburger and substitute a Beyond Meat patty with a vegan cheese slice. You know, so yeah, these are really good things, especially when you get started, and even when you're fully into the throes of a great regimen that your body just knows to rely on and loves. You know, um, every now and then, again, just for not just considering your physical health, but your mental health. You just want something different. You don't want to eat brown rice, beets, and quinoa every day. For whatever reason, you don't have to prove it to anybody. But you got to take care of yourself. You know, where like this is a whole body movement. If you're really gonna embody vitality, and it's just as my suggestion, you want to allow for things that don't come across perfect, but they are satiating, they are satisfying to you, and it works. And whatever the result yields, you're willing to stand on that, and you're willing to take whatever that shows you. You're willing to respond to whatever your body, you know, is suggesting. Because it will give you suggestions. And just listen. If I, for instance, eat a lot of fried food, it comes through my pores. Acne, annoying as hell. So, do I need a coach to tell me that? If I'm addicted, yes. And that's what I'm here for. If you need it. But the way I did it was, I just kept trying to eat the same thing. And I know so many of you do the same thing. You keep trying to eat the same thing, and your body is like, nope, nope, nope. It just keeps giving you, the feedback that you don't want, just to be clear, that you don't want. Whether it's acne, stiff back, stiff ankle, it's like body, it has so many strange little ways, and you don't know what it is sometimes. And most people, they don't go to the doctor for every little thing. Oh, my toe hurts. Oh, my finger is stiff. Most people just look up Dr. Google. even when you do that, you can learn because if we really narrow it down, and even if it lists like a whole bunch of different diseases, if you kind of learn how to see, you'll see that the foundation, most likely, is inflammation. Some of the things, some of it is utilization, some of it is not enough elimination. Meaning you're doing too much of the same thing too fast, and so you're getting some type of syndrome of some sort. None of these things you have to figure out alone, but this is just a way of having a very honest conversation with where you want to be, optimal health wise, your body and your mind, your heart. You know? Let them all play in concert to this optimal health, fully embodied vitality too. You know? And my body says at this very moment, and I will change it if it says something different. So I first programmed myself, this is my highest joy, this is what I need to feel. Maybe you're battling hormones, maybe you're battling something tough mentally that's happening, or you're a little afraid and feeling out of control, and you need a crutch. And people do this, and yeah, you can criticize other people and say, okay, it's not as healthy. But the universe will offer up what is the best for you at that time. It doesn't mean make a syndrome out of it, like, oh, every time I'm nervous, I'm going to eat a cheeseburger from McDonald's. No, it's not saying that. But be wise enough to know that, okay, these are the tools I have, this is the access I have, this is the prayer that I made. And God or the universe is actually telling me, eat a cheeseburger. Do your best. Get a Beyond Meat. Get something that you feel is the least harmful. But I would say for the most part, listen to that voice. You know, of course, you got to listen to your mind as well. It has to make sense. You know? I mean, you have to listen to your experience. You have to consider your experience as well. But it has to make sense. You know, but I won't say it's a compromise, but this is a learning journey. You know, love is a learning journey. Everybody that says they know all the right nutrients, all the right things for you to do for your body, never met you, doesn't know your lifestyle. I don't really believe that anymore. At least not at this moment. I used to think that people say, okay, yeah, this is a human diet, and this is what you eat, this is when you eat, this is how it should, what it should do for you. These should be the results. I don't think that's true anymore. I think it's an individual journey, and that's why I offer one-on-ones, at least for now, because in coaching, because I feel like diet or the way we eat is the way we live, and it's nuanced, and it needs nuanced, um, say diagnosis, but it needs nuanced attention. You know, you need to consider not just lifestyle, but where do you want to go? How are you going to feel? Do you have any previous ailments, allergies, you know, different things? And what are your favorite foods? What are the foods you can't imagine not eating? What are you getting out of those foods? You know, a full, a full scan, you know, of where you are and where you want to go. You know, this optimal health stuff is all about transformation, but it's not just one goal and one end for a lot of us. Sometimes it can be, you know, like, okay, you have diabetes. You don't have diabetes anymore. That's possible. You got one of those videos about, I think it's reversing diabetes in 30 days or something like that. So that's possible. And you may just be fine with that, you know. But I've seen more than usually there are people that are in it for the long haul, meaning it's a lifestyle, you know. Um, but not just one meal. One meal helps, of course, to build to the whole, but It's many different meals, many different days, many different times, and so-called outside challenges. They consider stress, people, business, whatever it is, money, and you're trying to figure stuff out. It could be location. You don't have all the right produce that you want to have the exact diet that you want to have. Well, a lot of things that come up, and you have to be open to and adaptable and forgiving of yourself. So this is something that I wanted to bring to you, is that being 100% raw is, and it definitely was, very transformative to my health and even my mental health and how I looked at myself and how I looked at food and all the beliefs that I have. And fasting also did that, and certain detoxes that I've done also changed my mind. But here's the key thread. These are experiences, but you're going to keep having experiences and you're going to keep learning. But I guess what embodied vitality is, and that's the new direction. If you haven't seen that video, I just put it out yesterday. Just go watch that. It's a short video of reintroducing this channel. But it is experience with grace, I would say. Health experience with grace, not with perfection. I had a problem with that growing up about being perfect and doing things 100%. And from that point of view, I do now understand why some people believe that a raw vegan diet is extreme. It's not extreme. It's just that when you think of 100% things like that, and you apply that inwardly, you feel like there's different ebbs and flows to my life. Of course, or why can't my diet ebb and flow as well and support me through that? You know? So hey, even if you eat a raw steak and you feel like, hey, universe, my body, God, whatever guided me to say I needed this particular type of heme iron, that's what your inner guidance says to you, and you believe that, allow yourself to do that. And then when you feel like that's satisfied, whatever it is, sometimes it's a mental itch. You know, it's programs from when you're younger. You always ate meat, perhaps, right? And you're like, I'm just bored. It could be 6 years down the line. A lot of vegans are like this. And a lot of plant-based eaters are like this. And they just go sharp left in a different direction. But are they? They're still on a health path. It just doesn't look like what they thought it would look like. So you have to be able to forgive yourself and allow yourself to go different avenues, when it's not just raw, you know. Is it healthy? You can claim health. That's what I've been saying all this time in this channel. It's like, first you claim health, then you let, again, universe, God, whatever, the physicality roll in and show you what exactly is health. Now, for me, so far, it's been being vegan and eating raw and eating cooked plant-based foods predominantly. And I've tested it and I've tested myself, and it continues to be this way. So I continue to promote this way. But if it changes, I'll be honest about it, But again, it's just my experience, and hopefully this helps. This helped to enlighten you at least about a different system of being a little more kind to yourself when you're not perfect, whatever perfect is. You know, you're learning the lessons, you're applying what you learn, and you're showing up. You know, you're not ignoring anything. You're looking for answers. Some people just give up. Doctor says ABC diagnosis, and they just give up. At least you're here looking to rock the boat, looking to expand your mind. And honestly, I feel like that's all that life is about. So give yourself a pat on the back for that. Do it daily. And I love you. And I will see you again for another important video. If you need any help, There are links in the description.